All right, guys, welcome. This is my channel. I am John, and we are in the middle of, well, we're near the end of Elden Ring. So, I've been mentioning in my previous, I don't know, maybe all the way back to when I was starting, how we can sort of, I don't know if cope is the right word, just sort of find something in your day that's positive. So you're having a bad day, you're having a bad week, having a bad month. Whatever the circumstances might be, maybe it's, you quit your job, you got fired, whatever happened there. Maybe there's a coworker you don't get along with. Maybe they're asking you to do work that you don't enjoy doing and you're bad at it, and why can't they see that you need to change into another department or, give that workload to someone else, right? Maybe you're fighting with your neighbor. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe your friend um, is sick. Maybe something happened there. Maybe anything. Could be anything. It could be your significant other is having problems with something. And of course, since it's your significant other, it really does affect you a lot. And you need to not only find a way to maybe it's not even finding a way. Maybe it's just like noticing. Maybe it's just like, hey, you know what? Today was not a good day for my significant other, and they voiced all of the issues that they've been having and all the drama and whatever, how they communicate it to you, right? You are their best friend. That is that kind of a bond. That's all there is, right? That is all. That is just that's what it is. So who does that person have to talk to? Well, they may have other friends. And you may have other friends, but maybe you don't. Maybe your best friend and your only real friend is your significant other, the person that you trust implicitly. So, they try to convey to you what's been going on recently or overall or the last 5 years, and they thought they might, maybe they should have been in a different. They were projecting themselves to be in a different place in their life, and they don't know why it's not happening or something like that. Okay, I can certainly relate to that. So you have these types of things happening, and it may not come up on a daily basis or anything like that, but what ends up happening is you have like a like that moment when you realize that's happened. Okay, now usually if you sort of have an idea about like what your 5 year plan is or 10-year plan is or something like that, you have an idea of what you want to do, but you don't track it every day. I mean, I don't. And then after 5 years, you probably should have evaluated that maybe halfway through. I should have maybe. But you know what? You do what you can. You can't do everything perfectly. You can't think of everything. You can't think of every option, every point. I mean, we're not robots, and you may or may not be conscious of all of the decisions that you make mentally. And, you know, sometimes it's not the right thing to do. Sometimes thinking about these things isn't very productive. Sometimes you need a break from that. And maybe you know that you do. Maybe you don't know that you do. This is complicated. It's complicated. It's almost like I just need an answer. I just need some way to get past this, some way to stop thinking about it, some way to, whatever. So you search for that, right? You search for, well, it depends. It depends, right? Do you get bogged down with it? Do you dwell on it so much that it stresses you out so bad internally that it affects your eating habits, your sleeping habits, the way that you interact with your significant other, the way you treat them, the way you treat your dog, the way you treat your parents, your family? Maybe you need to think about that in a different way. Those people don't deserve that. If you're having a problem, you need to, and I need to, be able to express that to somebody that can help. It could be your significant other, it might not be. But one of the problems that I have a lot of times is not necessarily noting what the actual issue is, but more that there is an issue. Okay, so, days can go by and I'll get in a rut. I'll think to myself, got to go to work, got to do these things, got my to-do lists, these things are happening this week, got to get them done. Like a ritual, like a planned sort of sequence of events that happen every single fucking day, right? Until somebody says, "Hey, why don't you just stop and like go outside, man? It's a really nice day. You want to go to lunch?" And you're like, "Yeah, I do want to go to lunch. I never even thought of that." And then it sort of breaks the day. And then I realize that, you know what? I can do that. Like every few days or every week or whatever, right? So that's one thing that I've realized is I need to take a look at my habits in terms of the predetermined steps that I do in the morning and during the day, and how I always put things in a certain spot. I know where they are. Excuse me. I know how to go, and I know how to go about doing my day. Sorry about that. So that's helped me. So what's helped me lately is I would send a text to my wife, say, "Hey, you want to go to breakfast?" Just off the cuff. It could be 1 p.m. We can eat breakfast any time of the fucking day, man. I love breakfast. So that's something, right? So you get into a rut, you sort of, and then you don't realize that the rut that you're in isn't healthy mentally, not physically, or it might be physically too, but the sequence of events that you go through during the day and the way that you're presenting yourself to others isn't healthy. That's what it was for me. It's what it is for me. And I have to, excuse me, I have to keep trying to stay very, I don't know. It's not much effort. I just need to recognize it. I just need to say, okay, how would I react if somebody wrote an email to me like I write an email to them? It isn't that way for me because I'm black and white as can be. No emojis, no nothing. So you're not going to read anything into my email. And I don't believe anything should be that way. If you put drama in email, if you put emojis in email, well, that's on you. Then you have to then you have to try to think of hey, how is this person going to take my email? How are they going to read it? How are they going to react to it? Who am I sending this to with these emojis on there? What? So I just keep it simple. It's just the facts, bullet points, no drama, no nothing, no emojis, my signature, my name, my company, that's it. No graphics, no nothing. Send. That's me. But when I go through my day and I realize that, I've gone 2 years basically doing the same thing every day, interacting with the same people, doing the same tasks. I mean, it's not that in itself isn't detrimental. That in itself is not. It's so difficult to explain. So the crux of the matter is that in order for what seems to help me the most is to try to, when I have a bad day or when a significant other has a bad day, look at what happened during the day, and not all of it was bad. There maybe all of it was bad that day. I don't know. But not every day. I mean, there are little things here and there. Maybe you have a dog. Fucking love dogs. And the way the dog looks at you, the way it's always around you, the way it's laying on you, the way it's always happy to see you. That's a good thing. That's a positive point of the day. Going to see your dog. It's not pathetic. That is not pathetic. That is a real thing. If you have a dog and you love your dog, man, so great. It's so great. But it could be anything else. It could be like watching these fucking videos I keep making, right? Of, dying. I don't know how many times we died of that goddamn, what was that beast on the full grown star flinger beast or whatever the hell. Maybe you want to see me die 50 times against that guy, trying all different tactics, or trying the same one over and over again, thinking something is going to be different. It's fine. It's fine. I watch videos on YouTube in order to chill, in order to try to disconnect from the day, in order to try to stop thinking about all of these things. And it isn't just stuff that's happening in my life either. It's other things that are happening in the world. It's things that are happening in the United States. Even though I don't ever watch the news and I don't ever try to read anything on the internet about the news. How do I know what's happening? You just do anyway. It just happens. You find out from other people. You actually do browse the internet a little bit, and boy, there's this war. Then you read about the war a little bit. But, all of those things all add up, all sort of add to the frustration, add to the stress of the day. And you may not even be aware of that's happening. And you may not even be aware of the internal stress that goes through on a daily basis where you have to talk to people you don't prefer to talk to. You don't like to talk to them. You know what kind of person that is. But you have to anyway because they're your client or they're your significant other's friend or whatever. You have to, you need to talk to that person. You need to maybe even work with them. I don't know. How do you do that? How do you work with somebody that you don't agree with their morals? You don't agree with the way they act. You don't agree with the way anything. You might not like them at all. Not one bit. You can't find common ground at all. That's hard. How do you even do that? So during the day, these good things happen. And maybe they happen to you. Maybe they happen around you. Maybe they happen to your friend. Maybe they happen to your significant other. And it brightens your day just for a moment. Makes you smile. Maybe you book a vacation. Maybe you book a run. Like an organized event like that. Maybe it's a hike. Maybe you're going to see the movies on Friday. And you know that you're going to the movies on Friday. Could be anything. You're going to dinner with your wife. You're going to dinner with your husband. You're going to dinner with your family on such and such a date. Thanksgiving's coming up. You can't wait to see your family. Things to look forward to. It's just something that has helped me. It has. and trying to navigate the way things are and all of the pressures that the internet is putting on you, because it is social media, the internet, everything. It's just constant pressure. And I don't think it's just me. I don't directly um I don't directly attribute it to that. I don't directly attribute my internal stress to what I am reading casually on the internet. But if you read about shootings over and over and over and over, and then the articles below it are like, all bad news stuff, all political shit, all that drama that's happening with all that shit that doesn't really mean anything about anything. What it's doing is it's hurting you. It's hurting you. It's hurting me. But how do you get away from that? You just stop reading it? Well, I stopped watching the news. I did, because it just fucking depressed the shit out of me no matter what happened. Even the fucking weather. Even watching the weather, they somehow turn the weather into some kind of drama fucking thing or some political thing in weather. I won't even watch that. So has that helped me? Well, yeah. But now I don't get to hear about what's happening. So now I have to get that from a different source. Try to find that from a neutral source. So I've done some things that I think have really helped me. I've tried to do some things that I don't think helped at all. But I have to keep trying, because there's all of this stuff. And I would imagine all of this stuff actually happens other places too, like in other countries and things like that. So if you lived in another country, would you have the same kind of pressures? Would you have the same kind of things based on the things around there? Now, if you looked at the internet every day, of course you would. Of course, you're still susceptible to, oh, well, this actor or this actress is getting a divorce, or this person is revealing whatever they're saying. They're breaking their silence. They're not fucking breaking their silence. It's the first time somebody fucking asked them the question, so they're telling you. You can see these words. You can see the way that they write things. They write things in such a fashion that, oh, I want to read that. Clickbait. And then you get in there and it's fucking hate. I just can't deal with it. So I'm just distancing myself from all of that. I mean, it's getting easier for me to identify what that kind of an article is, but you know what it is? I read it. I read the headline. I read the link. When I go to CNN.com, when I go to Yahoo.com, when I go to WallStreetJournal.com, or whatever the fuck site I go to, it's just like you read it and it pisses you off. You just read that. Blah, blah breaks their silence. I'm fucking pissed. It's just bad. And, all the other things that piss me off are like people writing sentences with question marks at the end of every single fucking one of them. And it's not a question. And the school system's not being able to teach people things because everybody has to pass. And it just goes on and on and on and on, right? I have 3 sisters. They're all teachers. So I hear about it when we get together too. And then I have to hire that, right? If I'm hiring, I have to hire that class. Fortunately for me, I'm old. So the people I'm hiring are usually older than the kids growing up now. But what happens when they have to hire? And they have to hire people that just, all these kids just get past, whether or not they understood what they were learning or not, they get past. They have to hire now that class. The younger generation opens a small business, now they have to hire them. How's that going to work? Whose fault is that? Why is their fault? Why is this even happening? Anyway, guys, so I try to stay away from a lot of that, play a lot of games. Try to find things that make me laugh, things that I like doing, things that almost like staying in your own bubble a little bit. You want to branch out here and there. You want to do things like that. You want to go on vacations or do things you've never done before. Of course. But and it doesn't. All of this doesn't affect just you. It affects your significant other, your family, the people around you, everybody. So you're driving on the road, somebody cuts you off, you get pissed. You're having a shit day. It's all of the things that I already talked about. You're not going to let that motherfucking get away with it, are you? But what is the point? Will you feel better when you cut them off? No, you won't. And what kind of day are they having? Maybe it's worse than yours. Maybe they're really angry because they just got in a big argument with somebody. They're under the same stresses, similar stresses. Maybe they are the same. Use some empathy. Be like, you know what? I just want to get from point A to point B. If somebody cuts me off, somebody wants to get in front of me when there's a 1-lane road because of construction, at least you get to where you're going without your internal stress going up, without an accident. It's just not worth it. It's not. In my 20s, I'd fucking do that. But now, I'm older and I would think more mature. With everything else that's happening, that is one less thing I need to worry that's causing me stress. Just chill out, man. Get to where you're going. If it takes you 5 minutes longer, 2 minutes longer, which is really all it's going to do. At the most. A couple minutes late. Anyway, guys, this is a touching on topics, I don't know what. Internal stress, maybe. Trying to alleviate that a bit. Video games, movies, entertainment, talking, going out to dinner. One of the coolest things that I haven't done yet, that I keep reading about, because I do read about this, is going out to dinner by yourself. Going out to dinner by yourself or going somewhere by yourself and just like being alone. So one of the things I did before I cut this, one of the things I did, and I have been doing occasionally, is going to the grocery store. And I never used to go to the grocery store ever. And when COVID happened, we never went to the grocery store for like 2 years. We would just Instacart everything. And then Instacart started fucking ripping me off more and more. So when you ordered something, it was more expensive. And then you had to pay the dude. And then you want bananas. Well, they bring back ripe bananas, right? Anyway, so we go to the grocery store now and then now. So I go by myself, right? The wife is working. Now she's at a conference, so I gotta go. I gotta get some food. It's actually a pretty good experience, to be honest. I don't know if it's because it seems new to me, but I walk around, I look at things, I think to myself what I would do with that, whatever it is, am I going to make something out of that? Do I really need that food? What kind of food? I'm going to get some lunch meat. What kind of lunch meat do I want? Do I want to talk to the deli guy, see what he's got? Do I want to just pick up something already packaged? Those things are so simple little things, but you know what? I find myself not thinking about anything but that. I don't know. I enjoyed it. And I think I'm going to enjoy it going again. Not too much that I'm going to go like frequently or like I'm the person who goes, or something like that. But maybe I will be. I do the laundry. I like doing the laundry. That sort of gets my mind off shit too. Plus, then I know the shit's washed. So that when I think of something that I want to wear the next day, it's already good. It's ready to go. That's cool too. Anyway, guys, so I hope you find something out of this. This episode really is kind of all over the place, but when are my episodes not, right? So please subscribe, you guys, and we will see you soon.